I saw one of the ladies, our D's, and I was very excited, has said, she's a village girl. I don't recall the name. Who was there? Frida, or Frida, Dr. Frida. Yeah, she's right there. She describes herself as a village girl. And I thought, I want to meet her and know which village she came from. Because you grew up in South B. Yani, ulikuwa hapo. Me, I grew up in the village, the real village. For those who have seen snippets of my story, I'm sure by now you know that I did not wear shoes until I went to secondary school. So, Carol, you know, you need someone to sort of lift, hold your hand to climb up the stairs. Me, I carried water with a jerry can down, up from the river up the hill. So, doing those stairs, nothing. Easy for me. Yeah, but life in the village was hard. A lot of you have never heard of that village. It's a small village in Nyeri called is Tetu location. But it's also the home of Wangari Maathai, my mentor. And one of the things, when I thought about what I will tell the ladies in the room today, the first thing is you start with a dream. You start with a dream. When I was growing up and life was very hard, the dream that I carried and the dream that carried me through the village was to get out of that village. Can you imagine? I mean, my best role model was my mom, who was a peasant farmer. She had not gone to school beyond primary school, you know, those days. But she was my mentor and my role model, despite her literacy level. And one of the things that I never forgot is she told me, Wagare, as you know, she would call me, Wagare is my name. You have to work very hard and get yourself out of this village. So the only thing I needed to do when I was in primary school, when I was in secondary school, when I was in high school, that time we had two, secondary school and high school. Those who know. There are some who don't know that there are two levels in secondary and high school. I had to work hard. I had to work very hard. I studied very hard. Because for me, it was the only ticket I had to come to the city. Now, surprise, surprise. The first time I came to Nairobi from Nyeri, or the first time I left Nyeri, can you imagine when it was? When I came to the University of Nairobi the first day. Yeah, you can't believe it. It sounds like a fairy tale. But it is true. Because I went to primary school. Oh, by the way, that's another story. I went to Teto Boys Primary School. Anyone who follows me here on LinkedIn, I'm sure you've seen that story. And people are asking me, hiya. So when I went to secondary school, and the teacher tells you, okay, you introduce yourself, where you come, your name, where you come from. So me, I stood up, you know, just like a tiny little girl from the village. My name is Mary Wangari, and I come from Teto Boys Primary School. So all the girls started laughing. And I'm like, so what's the big deal? Why are they laughing? But see, that was my school, and that's my name. And the teacher asked, did you hear my question? And I said, yes. My name is Mary from Teto Boys. In fact, I thought they had not got the name. Primary school. And I could hear whispers now, more laughter, and they are asking, so are you really a girl? Although I didn't have to prove that I'm a girl. So I said, yes, I am. But it's a long story. That did not stop me from excelling. I got the top marks that had ever been gotten by anybody, boys and girls in that school. In Teto Boys School, I got top marks on top of the boys. Yeah? See, that was something. And that ushered me into another school in Nyeri. That time the system was working differently. So if you're in a Nyeri primary school, you are more likely to go into a Nyeri secondary school. So I went to another school. And then for high school, I still went to Nyeri, Bishop Gatimo Gadu Girls. And that is where I was able to acquire marks to go to the law school in the university. So, I mean, if I did not do that, I can tell you I would be laboring in the village up to today. So I made a choice to work. You know, when people ask me about my schedule, even today, I'm in the bank. In the last 3 weeks, I have done 5 countries in the region. South Sudan, Tanzania, DRC, which other one? Rwanda, Uganda. In the last 2 weeks. And then I've come back to Kenya and I've done meetings for Kenyan companies, including the group, which I finished today. And people ask me, how do you manage? And I simply tell them, I learned how to work hard, give it my all, because I got an opportunity to work in equity. I'm giving it my all, and I've been dreaming and saying, I want to become somebody. My family could not confer to me anything, a title, or assets, nothing. I had to look for it myself. That's what I did, day and night. Now, of course, I dreamt and I worked for it. So you have to dream. Start with a dream and then work for it. Figure out. And I'm so happy that today we are celebrating the top 40. And I'm so impressed with the diversity of skills, diversity of thoughts, diversity of innovation. It is so impressive and very empowering to see the list. And I went through the list and I saw some names, you know, some careers I could not even pronounce. This one being called as something, and I and I sociologist. I'm not sure. The only context I remember, and the sociologist, is that my second girl, my second baby, I went through cesarean section. So there's someone who came, and they started giving me very interesting stories. And then I don't know what they did to me. The next time I was like, I was asleep. The next time I woke up, there was a baby there, and everything was done. I'm not sure how they did that. So I'm imagining it's something close to that, but at a more advanced level, I think. But I'm trying to figure out what it is all about. So women making bold and courageous moves, both in terms of professional development and professional moves, and also in entrepreneurship. I saw one who has started the shared office space concept. And I was just like, how brilliant. Because when I had my legal firm, you know, we always thought about tenancy as a fixed period of not less than what, 6 years. And then you are like, but if I want to move my business from one point to the other tomorrow, if I change direction of my business, I'm still stuck with a lease for 6 years because the landlord said so. And actually one time I got almost thrown out of my office because I was in a subtenancy and my landlord was not paying rent to the main landlord. So we've seen it all, and I'm so excited. I'm like, this is brilliant. If I need an office for 1 week, is it possible? 1 week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks? Brilliant. Because sometimes you just need an office to go and impress that customer who you have been targeting for years. And now finally they have decided, okay, can we do a meeting? And you don't want to own up that your office is, you are laughing as if you've done that. Very, very brilliant ideas. Let me tell you, I was thoroughly impressed with that list of 40. I mean, even the traditional careers like mine, legal, you can see how they have branched out into thinking about how they can use their legal knowledge in not the traditional way. Amazing. I'm very, very amazed. And that's how the dream starts. And I agree with those who have spoken before me that these women hold a lot of potential. They have broken the glass ceiling, but you know it's a moving target. We are not yet there. You are just starting. You are just starting. You are just starting. Lesson number 2. You have to be led by a sense of purpose. A sense of purpose in knowing, why do I exist? And this one you look at it at 2 levels. Why do I exist as Mary, the individual? And then I ask also myself, why do I exist, Catherine, as Phantom, my company or my business? Why do I exist as Equity? Because I'm also part of Equity. A sense of purpose. That is what will drive you, and that is what will guide you and enable you to ride the tide, especially when things get tough. Because things will get tough. Once in a while, you will get into tough territory. And the waves will be blowing you, you know, this side, from all sides. And you're wondering, wow, is this ship collapsing or what? What is going on? I have no idea what to do. Your purpose is what is going to help you to ride the tide and the storm. When I decided to stop being a lawyer, because I was in private practice, I had my own practice. And I decided to join Equity. That time Equity was, I don't know how many our members here today, but if you are in the market at that time, I am sure Equity will not have been even a consideration as your banker. Why? Small balance sheet, negative stakeholder value, negative performance. Everything was going down. Everything was going down. If you look at the graphs of Equity, the way it has evolved, you will see some of the graphs are actually below the 0 line. And we say it's not that they were upside down, it's just that the performance was upside down. So somebody needed to take that decision and say, I'm going to give it my all, being led by a sense of purpose of providing solutions to the previously unbanked. What was the opportunity? You see the opportunity in the market, and that was the other point I wanted to remind you. I know some of you have figured it out, others you not have got awarded. What is the opportunity in the market or in society, depending on what you are looking at? I was particularly impressed by one bio of a lady, I think her name is Mary somebody, who says, I went into psychology, even if she had, I think, a commerce degree or something. But she decided to go into psychology because I knew I needed to deal with a psychology problem because I have lived with it, and set up a center for research on suicide or something. Due to her own experience, it's all about figuring out a solution to a societal problem. So when the nation media thinks about its purpose, they have to think about it in the sense of what is it that the market wants in times of news, coverage, and all that? What is lacking? What is it that the ordinary person needs to know? Because we have the platform to disseminate and then disseminate. We have to figure out what is the societal need. So 4% banked population, what is the size of the market? It's a difference. 96% of the people are not banked. And I can tell you, after 15 or 20 years now of me being in equity, I've been there that long, we have now covered more than 80% of the market. More than 80% of the market is now banked. And the beauty about it is also, some of these things you don't do yourself. When you do it, others see what you are doing, and what do? They also start doing it. Some of the people tell us, well, I don't bank with you, but I really appreciate what you have done, because now we get treated better wherever we are. We get better service. We get better innovations in the market, courtesy of equity leading the way. And that is what transformation is all about. So you must find your own way of transforming the society at a certain level in very diverse ways. And that is how we create a change. Because at the end of the day, you must have that vision of causing change in the society, one way or another. But you need to figure it out, depending on your circumstances. So that's the purpose. Number 3 is, I'm really passionate about this one, creating a legacy. You have to ask yourself, if you are not there today, because our lights will dim. We are natural, we are human. And our lights will dim one day. Only God knows when, but it will certainly happen. Who has attended a burial recently? A funeral. Funeral? Hey, kwani, you guys don't go for burials. Okay, it's because I said recently. Okay, who has ever attended? Oh, 100%. There's something called the eulogy. Who has seen a eulogy? Okay. What does it say? And we all write them the same way. Carol, you need to show us how to write it differently, so at least. I feel like I'll write mine. Birth. What? School, education. And then if you are like Kikuyu, they'll have the Kikuyu version. Yedhomo. Wera. Work. So if I'm a housewife, what will they say? Work? Someone was complaining the work of a housewife is not recognized, and it is true. It is called unpaid labor, which is also not appreciated, which is actually a serious, what do you call it? It's an injustice. It's an injustice. So work, and then the other one is church, religion. And the next one is, me they will say, I was a dedicated, there's someone who said the CWA, no, now me I'm no, I'm also in that church. Hiyo iko na CWA. So me I'm in the Jumuiya. So they'll say, I belong to the St. Teresa, Child of Jesus Jumuiya. And I was a dedicated member, although like this month I haven't attended any meetings because I've been traveling. Do you see the issues we have to deal with? So after church, now they'll talk about marriage, and then sickness, and death. Does that make sense? You've seen it, right? Now, and be very honest here, because I want to ask you a very simple question. Have you ever seen any eulogy where they have written money in bank, money in equity, money in equity bank? Have you seen one where they have said whether she had, what was that car you were telling us about, Rita? Vehicles. Have you seen? Have you seen? Houses. Karen, Modaiga, and she used to drive a Range Rover. Have you seen? What does that say? At that point, and I think the reality is this. What is your final resting place? Six? Is it 6 or 5? Well, whatever. If it's a rocky land, I hear there is some areas where they can't go below 3. I'm not sure how they manage the council laws, but somehow they know what to do. But that's the reality. Which is why it is important for us to create a legacy